What up, everybody? Guess what it is? We talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Heyman. The founder of ECW. Must have been one of those cold night in the south. I'm in the cover snagged up. That's why I just camped up for a little bit. And yeah, smooth, man. Paul Heyman gave us Brock Lesnar. RVD. What's up, cool gamer? Talk about the OG Paul Heyman. Yeah, but he gave us Paul Heyman. He gave us Brock Lesnar, RVD, Rhino, the whole ECW. You know, matter of fact. Oh yeah, shout out to my first celebrity friend, Afro, A period F period W period R period W. He been showing a lot of love. What's up, cool gamer? Glad you're here. We in North Carolina. We witnessed a little bit of the storm, mostly windy and rainy here. Shout out to the people in Florida and South Carolina. Our prayers are with you. Hope y'all all right. All right, here we go. Paul Heyman was born September 11th, 1964. He's an American professional wrestling manager, former promoter, and executive. He is currently signed to WWE. Oh, let me adjust. There we go. He is currently signed to WWE, appearing on the SmackDown brand as special counselor to Roman Reigns. Heyman owned and was creative force behind the Extreme Championship Wrestling, aka ECW, promotion from 1993 until its closure in 2001. Shoot, that's a blessing. 1993 to 2001, it ain't bad. Before winning and owning ECW, he was manager under the ring name Paul Lee Dangerous and World Championship Wrestling, aka WCW, and other promotions. He is co-owner of the Looking for Larry agency in New York City and was personally named one of the advertising agency's top 100 global marketers. In WWE, Paul Heyman managed or has served as manager for a record 6 world champions. That's a blessing too, man. A blessing upon blessings. I guess I'm like the YouTube Paul Heyman, just creative and different. Man, see, let's give this man credit, man, because he pulled a heck of a promo. He been doing this for like since '93 or maybe the late '80s. Counting his WCW days, and he's still relevant now, and he's a dang good promoter, man. I wish I was a wrestler just so he could promote me. I can't even wrestle. I grew up off of it. I still watch it today. I'm like, man, this dude, man, he know how to sell stink to a skunk. When I say, if one person I could say that know how to say sell stink to a skunk, it is Paul Heyman. Man, he could sell me a pen like on the Wolf of Wall Street, and I'll buy it. Cause he got the gift of gab, man. And he actually just knows how to. Let me adjust this. He just know how to. I don't know, man. He just know how to sell an audience. I ain't even gonna lie. regardless if you like him or not, or you don't like wrestling, I give a man credit. See, oh yeah, and was personally named one of Advertiser's Age Top 100 Global Marketers in WWE. Paul Heyman has managed or has served as manager for the record six world champions, WWE champions, The Big Show, Kurt Angle. Shout out to the OGs. South Carolina's own Big Show, and Philadelphia's own Kurt Angle. Rob Van Dam, Detroit's own Rob Van Dam, and the CHIGAGO, Cruise Conflict, and my boys Twister, do or die from Chicago. The code of personalities. And yo guys, they code personalities. I am the code. I am the code. CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Minneapolis on Brock Lesnar, and WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Florida's own Roman Reigns. Ooh, so I'm in God mode, son. Critics have praised his abilities to mention on the microphone. Heyman has also competed sporadically in matches, including the WWE Championship main event of the 2002 Rebellion pay-per-view. He was born September 11, 1965, was making 57 years old. Well, 57 years young. 57 years old. New York City, New York State, U.S. Children 2, professional wrestling career. Ring names Paul E. Dangerous. Alfred Hitchcock Jr. We do kind of like Alfred Hitchcock. Paul Heyman, built from Scottsdale, New York, debuted 1986. Heyman was born September 11, 1965 in the Bronx, New York. Shout out to the Bronx, New York City. The son of Samuelita Nee Scarf, 1928 to 2009, and Richard S. Heyman, 1926 to 2013, a prominent personal injury attorney. No wonder why of World War II, because he's a son of a private injury attorney. How he got the gift of gab. Not to say he don't God and give him the gift on his own, because it's both. A veteran, he is Jewish. His mother was a Holocaust survivor. No shout out to the Holocaust survivors who suffered through experience in Auschwitz, Bergen, Belsen, and the Lodz ghetto. By age 11, he was running a mail order business selling celebrity and sports memorabilia from his home while still a teenager. He fast talked his way backstage at the Worldwide Wrestling Federation WWF event in Madison Square Garden as a photojournalist. He was paid by the company for several of his photographs. He graduated from Egmont High School. He attended SUNY Purchase and worked on air as an opinionated, controversial host at SUNY's radio station and Worry FM New York radio station for Westchester Community College. In 1985, at the age of 19, he became a photographer, then a producer and promoter for the New York City nightclub Studio 54. I'm gonna like shorten some of these readings. Early career, 1987 to 1988. Heyman decided he wanted to work in professional wrestling when he saw Vince McMahon interviewing superstar Billy Graham. He began as a photographer when he was 13 and bought his own photo lab to take photos of pro wrestlers in New York. He published his own newsletter, the Wrestling Times magazine, and wrote a third-party wrestling publications such as Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I'm a Pro Wrestling Illustrated kid. I grew up off that magazine. Good magazine. And still going strong now. At the age of 14, he called, I think been out since the 80s, and it's still going strong now in the 2000s. At the age of 14, he called Capital Wrestling Corporation and the parent company of World Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the WWF, and obtained a backstage pass for Madison Square Garden. His first official work in pro wrestling posed photographs from the period of Heyman with the WWF. Three dominant heel managers of the period: Lou Albano, recipes Lou Albano, like him; Fred Blassie, I love Fred Blassie, classy Fred Blassie, and the Grand Wizard. I love the Grand Wizard too. He was cool. That was before my time, but I remember watching them on like the internet and stuff and magazines. So, and I liked what I see. Cool managers. They made a pathway for the late great Paul Bearer. Made recipes. I love Paul Bearer. The Undertaker, who managed Undertaker Kane, Mick Foley. I think some young guy in TNA before. Published Pro Wrestling Illustrated as evident that Heyman had studied heel management under the tutelage of the three wise men. Heyman met Dusty Rhodes. Recipes Dusty Rhodes. I love Dusty Rhodes. I wine and dine with cans of creams and step in the alley and dine of pork and beans. Dusty Rhodes at a Jim Crockett promotion taping when he entered the production meeting. In 1985, Heyman was hired by New York Studio 54 as photographer. The same year, he became producer of Studio 54 and hosted the first Wrestle Party 85 show. He called Jim Crockett, who sent Ric Flair, Charlotte song, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, and Magnum T.I. Shout out to Magnum T.I. Shout out to Dusty Rhodes. Shout out to Ric Flair. Shout out to Lou Boutney. And Magnum TA, my bad. The show, shout out to Magnum TA, shout out to Ric Flair, shout out to Dusty Rhodes. The show featured Bam Bam Bigelow, rest in peace, one of my favorite big guys, Bam Bam Bigelow, the guy with flames on his head. Hello, Jello. Shout out to everyone on Twitch and shout out to everyone on Facebook also. But yes, back to all right, Bam Bam. The show featured Bam Bam Bigelow's debut and an award to Flair. Nature Boy. At the urging of Bigelow, Heyman made a managerial debut on January 2nd, 1987, initially appearing on the Northeast Independent Circuit before moving to the more high-profile stint with Champion Wrestling from Florida in February 1987. There, he joined forces with Kevin Sullivan and Oliver Humperdinck and acquired the name Polly Dangerous because of its resemblance to Michael Keaton's character in Johnny Dangerous. After CWF was absorbed by Jim Crockett's promotion, Bigelow brought him to Memphis, Tennessee, home to his Mafia, 8 Ball MJG, and Young Buck. In the Continental Wrestling Association (CWA) to manage Tom Rich and Austin Idol in a heated feud with Jerry Lawler, a war which later carried over to American Wrestling Association (AWA) with the Midnight Express, Dennis Condren, and Randy Rose taking over for the Idol and face turn Rich. The Polly Dangerous gimmick was an extension of Heyman's own personality, a brash New Yorker with a yuppie attitude, often seen holding a mobile phone which was occasionally used as a foreign object. According to Heyman, he decided to use the mobile phone as a weapon when he watched Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. After departing the AWA, Heyman went back to the CWA. Heyman joined with Eddie Gilbert and his wife and valet Missy Hyatt, and together they feuded with Lawler before moving on to the Alabama-based Conditional Wrestling Federation. Behind the scenes, Gilbert was the head booker of the promotion, and Heyman became his assistant. Heyman was also head booker for Windy City Wrestling in Chicago. Ooh, the cold, chilly Chicago, which is awesome. And started developing a reputation as being an innovative television writer producer. He was in National Wrestling Alliance World Championship Wrestling 1988 to 1993. In 1988, Heyman jumped to Jim Crockett Promotion, where, where Dangerously again managed the original Midnight Express. Shout out to the Midnight Express was still wrestling strong. In his feud with the new Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, and their manager, Jim Cornette, as well as manager Mean Mark Callis, aka The Undertaker, is settled into the role of an announcer, joining Jim Ross to call the matches on WTBS World Championship Wrestling and other programming. Heyman admitted he learned more working with Ross than from his previous mentors. While in between stints in WCW, Heyman went to work for ICW as a writer, but was fired on his first day in the middle of his first taping. In 1991, WCW needed to restructure its heels, so Heyman returned to the role of spokesperson ringside manager as the manager of the Dangerous Alliance with Rick Rude. Rest in peace, late Rick Rude. I just like playing with him in WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 because that Rude Awakening was a dope move. As the centerpiece of the stable, according to Heyman, he and Stone Cold Steve Austin, fight back when Stone Cold had the long hair, most people didn't realize that, not even me, learned their craft from Rude. Heyman led Rude to the United States title and Anderson Eaton tag team to tag team titles. The Dangerous Alliance dominated WCW through most of 1992. Oh, all right. Here we go. Eastern Championship Wrestling slash ECW Stream Championship Wrestling 1993 to 2001. Here's the part we all been waiting for, his ECW career. Here we go. After departing WCW, Heyman attempted to start a new promotion in Texas with Jim Crockett Jr. Disagreement arose, however, as okay, here we go. As Crockett wanted to build a traditional wrestling brand, while Heyman believed traditional wrestling at this time, Eddie Gilbert was Booker. Well, hold on. As Heyman believed traditional wrestling was inadequate and a new take on the genre was needed. At this time, Eddie Gilbert was a booker for Philadelphia-based promotion National Wrestling Alliance (NWA) Eastern Championship Wrestling, which he did under the ownership of local pawn shop owner named Todd Gordon. Heyman came in to help Gilbert teach the younger wrestlers how to perform on interviews. But Gilbert's erratic behavior became too much for Gordon, who had a major falling out with Gilbert right before the Ultra Class event. Heyman came. Oh yeah. On September 18th, 1993, from that point forward, Heyman was in charge of the creative direction it, of the company as Paul E. Dangerous. He managed a few wrestlers, including Sabu, my boy, and 911. Years later, the company was flagship promotion struggling NWA. The NWA World Title Tournament was scheduled to be held in August 1994 for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship at an ECW hosted event, mostly featured ECW wrestlers. The promoted outcome was current ECW champion Shane Douglas. Shout out to Shane Douglas. I remember him when he went to manage the Naturals on TNA. Rest in peace, Chris Candido. The NWA World Tag Team title was scheduled to be held in 1994. The NWA World Heavyweight Championship at the ECW hosted event, mostly featuring ECW wrestlers. All right, here we go. The proposed outcome was the current ECW champion Shane Douglas becoming champion, but Heyman considered with Douglas and Gordon without the knowledge of NWA President Dennis Carrizalo to have Douglas by extension ECW itself publicly denounced the NWA in its tradition. After winning the tournament, in his post-match speech, Douglas aggressively assaulted the title's lineage, throwing the belt itself down, proclaiming the NWA a dead organization, and declaring his ECW title a world level championship. The plan for the shoot screw job was known only for those three. The same week, Heyman and Ty Gordon reorchestrate the promotion, eliminating the regional branding Eastern and declaring the promotion Extreme Championship Wrestling. ECW. ECW. Haha. They broke the company away from the NWA, and ECW became its own entity. Heyman encouraged wrestlers to express their true feelings about the WWF, the NWA, and WCW. In May 1995, Heyman brought out Gordon and became sole owner of ECW. During his time in ECW, Heyman found an ally in Vince McMahon. WWF Vince McMahon had sent some WWF wrestlers to ECW under WWF payroll to develop them and was interested in some ECW wrestlers such as Terry Gordy, shout out to Terry Gordy, and Tuco Scorpio, shout out to Tuco Scorpio, the master of the funk. McMahon paid Heyman $1,000 per week to rent Scorpio. That ain't bad, $1,000 a week, at least from 90's perspective. Now that might not be much. To rent Scorpio. Heyman also acknowledged Heyman also acknowledged how an effort to put ECW on the USA Network failed after USA Network President Steve Cayo of the email. Became aware of an email Vince McMahon sent, which pressed him and other network executives to put ECW on the USA Network. In the final days of ECW, Heyman became persona non grata as he did not appear on the show and was replaced As the leader of the backstage and created by ECW wrestler Tommy Dreamer, Heyman could not get out of financial trouble, and ECW closed on April 4th, 2001. Heyman also supposedly had never told his wrestlers that the company was on its dying legs and was unable to pay them for a while. ECW entered into bankruptcy in 2001, just weeks after WCW was sold to WWF for $2 million. After AOL, Time Warner wrote off over $100 million in debt, with the company $7 million in errors, with over $3 million owed to the company. In Demand pay-per-view on January 28, 2003, World Wrestling Entertainment Inc. purchased ECW's assets from HHG Corporation in court, acquiring the rights to ECW video library. Good gooey goo. So here's the rise and fall of ECW. But to go on with that, even though that happened, Paul Heyman still kept his head up. He had to work with WWE. What's up, fam? What's up, man? What's up, Ken Folk? I might do something tonight. I ain't gonna do it on this episode because that kind of be weird for the fans if I'm talking about Paul Heyman and do reaction on this one. But no, I got enough time tonight. I ain't this week. It's gonna be free, so I got enough time after this one. But yeah, we was talking about the legendary Paul Heyman. The mad genius of ECW. And the man, I'm telling y'all, young folks, study from Paul Heyman. He may be 57 years old, but he made a killing in ECW. Because they didn't have no big budget like WWE and WCW. But when I say this man got the gift of gab, he do. And I didn't know why. So his daddy, I think, or mom, whichever one, was a salesperson. So that's how he was able to. And man, Paul Heyman sells tank to a skunk. Now he was one of the best managers in wrestling of all time. So he's still around today in WWE. So basically, he helped WCW and WWE in a way because they used his wrestlers. Because ECW wasn't no high paying company like that. They ain't had a big budget the way WCW and WWE had. Well, when it was WWF at that time. I feel you. Get your grind right, player. Everyone go support Young Dud, the YOUNG, the DUGG. We gotta get this grind on. I gotta get my mind right, my grind tight, like Crazy Bone Nice Cube said. And shout out to Cool Gamer. But anyone who missed the shows I'm about to do tonight, go check them out on the replay and make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Please hit that. Cause I want some good YouTube analytics. I meant to say, but I can't do it without y'all views and y'all subscriptions. So I'll get some scrimps. Nah, I already got the scrimps. It's like I don't eat scrimps like that. But anyway, I eat that soul food. But yeah, Paul Heyman, I'm learning a lot from Paul Heyman, man. You never and one thing I tell my fellow young people, you can never say you can't learn from the old school people. I learned a lot from the 90s people, because I am a 90s baby. We can always learn. So don't let this media divide us, black entertainers or white entertainers or Asian entertainers or Mexican entertainers. You can always learn from the old school. Don't let this media people divide us and get us. Don't fall for that old school versus new school crap. That's just a way to keep us divided and fighting. We all can learn from each other. And I said what I said. But we out until the next show. I'm gonna do some research.